Hello everyone, the Honorable Sir Wisnuwardana, and I appreciate all of you who watch this video. How are you all? I hope you are all well during this pandemic. First of all, allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Dharma Kurnia Octavella. You can call me Octavella. I am an active student at Bunda Mulia University, majoring in hospitality and tourism. My student ID number is 19200087. On this occasion, I want to explain and present about cultural tourism. Without further ado, let's get started. In this first topic, I will discuss about what is the meaning of cultural tourism as identified by UNWTO, World Tourism Organization, with my own words. According to my understanding about cultural tourism, cultural is everything, like art, beliefs, and something that is passed down from generation to generation. Culture can also be said to include personal things, such as code of ethics, dress, language, religion, and rituals. Meanwhile, tourism is a tourist trip carried out by a person or group of people repeatedly, both planned and unplanned. The trip will be a new experience for that person. So, I can conclude that cultural tourism is a tourist trip in which an experience about the culture of an area will be given. Next is an example of cultural tourism. This time, I will take the examples of cultural tourism in Indonesia. First is Prambanan Temple. Who doesn't know Prambanan Temple? This temple is very famous, even to the world, because this temple is the largest temple in Indonesia. This temple was built in the 9th century AD. Where is this temple located? Yes, that's right. This temple is located on the border of two regencies, namely Sleman Regency, Yogyakarta, and Klaten Regency, Central Java. The good news is if we all want to visit this Prambanan Temple, it is very easy to access because we can use public transportation. The second is Tanah Toraja. Tanah Toraja is an interesting cultural tourism destination in Indonesia to visit. Tanah Toraja is located in Tanah Toraja Regency, South Sulawesi. The interesting thing in Tanah Toraja itself is the Tongkonan traditional house in Palawa village and Ketekesu village. In addition, the thick culture of the people and the unique funeral ceremonies of the residents are the main attraction for visiting here. Third is Penglipuran Village. Penglipuran Village located in Bangli Regency, Bali. Penglipuran Village is famous for its people who still carry out and preserve Balinese culture in their lives. This traditional village is visited by many tourists, both domestic and foreign tourists, because of the attractive architecture of the house. If you go to Bali, you can come to visit this Penglipuran village. It will be a great experience for us. Fourth is Pampang Dayak Village. Pampang Dayak Village is located on Pampang Cultural Tourism Street, number 32, Samarinda City. If we want to go to Pampang Dayak Village, the access is quite easy because it is only 23 km from the center of Samarinda City. In here, we can learn about the interesting Dayak trip. We can see traditional dance, performance, typical of the Dayak Kenya trip every Sunday afternoon. And fifth or last is Wairebo Village. Wairebo Village is located in Manggarai Regency, East Nusa Tenggara. This traditional village is located at an altitude of 1,200 mesel. Road access to this village is not easy. However, your efforts to get to this traditional village will be replaced by its exotic natural beauty. One of the things that attracts tourists is the architectural form of this Mabrunia traditional house. Next, I will explain about 5 importance of cultural tourism with examples. First, the importance of a cultural tourism, it has a positive economic and social impact. Why is having a positive economic and social impact important? Because in my opinion, if cultural tourism has a positive economic and social impact, it will have an impact on everything. An example of a positive economic impact on cultural tourism is if in our country, Indonesia, has famous cultural tourism as I described earlier, namely Prambanan Temple, Pampak Dayak Temple, Wairebo Village, and many more. Surely, there will be many tourists who visit our cultural tourist destination. With tourists visiting our cultural tourist destination, there will certainly be an economic impact, namely the entry of income in the form of money from tourists who come, like Australian tourists flying to Indonesia to visit Prambanan Temple. After that, he entered the Prambanan Temple by paying the entrance ticket to the temple. When a tourist visits, he cannot just go to one place. He will stay in a hotel. That will be an income for hotels in Indonesia. After that, tourists will definitely buy food and culinary. This will be an income for local residents. An example of positive social impact with the number of visitors and the renewal of the world will affect the development of science and technology and knowledge of local residents. For example, in the past in rural areas, people could not use the telephone or they could not speak English. With the existence of cultural tourism, a lot of the outside world into the area. So now, I can use a cell phone and speak a little English. Another example is that the existence of cultural tourism will certainly create new jobs for local residents. This is definitely very good for local residents. Second, the importance of a cultural tourism is establishes and reinforces identify of a destination. What I understand about building and strengthening the identify of a destination is like, for example, Bali. For example, who doesn't know Bali? Even people outside the country know Bali, but don't know necessarily know Indonesia. The identify of Balinese is very well known and worldwide. So, from that, cultural tourism must also be able to build and strengthen its identify. Another example, Borobudur Temple. The identify of Borobudur Temple is very strong, namely the largest Buddhist temple in the world, with architectural splendor that spoils the eye. Third, the importance of cultural tourism is helps build image. The example helps build image is that there is a new cultural tourism found in an area, we must build the image of cultural tourism. so that it can rise and be known by many people to the world. Because if you don't build a built image, the destination cannot be famous. Fourth, the importance of a cultural tourism is helps preserve the cultural and historical heritage with culture as an instrument. For example, in a country that has very good cultural tourism, we as local citizens are obliged to preserve it. Because if not us, who else? If the culture is damaged or extinct, we will lose too. And fifth or last, the importance of a cultural tourism is facilitates harmony and understanding among people. In my opinion, an example of facilitates harmony is like providing access to facilities that are capable of visiting the cultural tourism. Because usually, access to cultural tourism is still very difficult, especially in remote areas. Next, I will explain about my views on the types of cultural tourists. First, is those with high education understand and willing to learn cultures. I agree with the opinion above. Why? Higher education makes people have a more general view of things. Highly educated people are people who want to learn. Therefore, of course, he wants to learn culture. Because, in my opinion, learning culture is also included in the category of education. Second is the baby boomers, born between 1944 to 1964, or now aged between 55 until 75 years old. I do not agree with the opinion above, because I was born and grow up being educated by parents with good mindset, not old-fashioned, and willing to accept change. Third is have good and steady position, managerial or professional. I agree with the opinion above. As a human being, let's say we work in a company, when we have a good position professionally, of course, we will be more appreciated and have an easier life. And fourth or last is big spender in the cultural destination visited. I do not agree with the opinion above. Humans have many ways to enjoy life. Visiting cultural destination is not a big waste. Waste occurs because of an inappropriate lifestyle. We can travel with our budget, and some even make cultural tourism a place to earn a living. Okay, that's it all of my presentation about cultural tourism. I hope this video that I show can be useful for all of us. I also thank to my lecturer, Sir Wisnuwardana, because he always guiding me very well, so that I can explain my presentation well. I also want to apologize if during the video I said something wrong, either intentionally or unintentionally. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Stay safe and healthy.